Got my first piece of ass in the backseat of that car.
Well, a couple months ago, we went up to my cousin Chad's house, and we picked up what he called the daddy wagon. He's had this car for several years, and I do have a little bit of history with it, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But we pulled her out of his shed and loaded her up on the trailer and brought it down to Jeff's house, where we started working on it. Well, we're going to try to start this. Let's have a bad starter, so let's see. Looking like a bad starter, but
I can't get past that spoiler.
So we got a starter for it because he said he thought it was a bad starter. I think he kind of stopped driving it because he broke the seat and the starter went bad. So we got the starter in it and it didn't start.
See what happened. Not enough juice.
It has a busted driver's side seat, and overall the interior is just absolutely filthy. This leads me to believe that possibly Dirty Mike and the boys had a few soup kitchens in here.
Bodily fluid and hair samples, we determined that a bunch of old homeless dudes had an orgy in the car.
Oh, God.
Yeah. You know what that's called when they do that in there? It's called a soup kitchen.
I do not have any actual evidence to support my theory. That's just what I assume possibly happened. As you see, it starts up really easily, and she engages into gear the way she should. Takes right off. Sounds like we got a little bit of an exhaust leak.
Well, today we're cleaning out the soup kitchen wagon, as Jeff likes to call it. Pretty well taken care of here. Sorry, Chad. Got this from my cousin Chad, of course, and we're trying to clean her up. See what we're gonna do with it. I'm gonna open up all the doors and air it out. Ooh, what the hell? Giant spider nest up under that handle. Oh man, just, I don't know how to describe it. Been in the barn for 4 years, you know. Oh. Mouse motel. Open up all the doors, got the gloves here. And we'll see what we can do. We're hauling out of here. Might set you up on the tripod for this one. Really feel like we need full body hazmat suits for this. We're going with rubber gloves and cheap masks. That'll be good.
So Jeff gave you a little bit of an update there on the broken seat and that, and how he started calling it the soup kitchen wagon from the other guys, and that description of homeless dudes having an orgy in the car. But anyway, here we start cleaning her up, and I'll tell you a story about this car. I actually drove this car from Keokuk, Iowa, all the way to Cincinnati, Ohio, and back several years ago when we went to a horror convention out there, me and Chad, my wife at the time, and my sister. And it was a good time, except for coming back, there was a blizzard and we drove about 35 miles an hour from Cincinnati, Ohio, all the way to Macomb, Illinois. Just hours and hours of driving in feet of snow, and it was one of the most harrowing experiences of my life. So I do have a special place in my heart for this car, but looks like we're probably going to clean her up and pass her on. We do got it going good. And here in a minute, you'll see after we got it cleaned up a little bit, how good she looks. Just one more note about that blizzard I was talking about in Cincinnati, driving home from Horror Hound weekend. I had the opportunity to interview Sid Haig, which I mentioned in my Midwest Monster Fest video, from him being in High on the Hog and them having a High on the Hog panel at that show. I had the chance to interview Sid for a Halloween radio show I did several years ago when I was living up in Iowa Falls, Iowa. And he did remember that horrible snow and said he had a heck of a time getting out of Cincinnati that day as well. So a little bit of a connection between us and Sid Haig here and this car. So I don't know how many more Sid Haig references I'll be able to work into videos, but I'll keep trying. Here, if I remember right, we were trying to figure out how to get the back glass open and the tailgate down, and we had to hook up the battery. Jeff said that one day he was sitting in his house and the horn just started honking, so he unhooked the battery. Haven't had that happen to me yet since it's been sitting outside my house for several days, but as soon as I say that, I bet I get woken up at 3 a.m. today to hear that horn honking and have to go out there and pull the fuse or something. We eventually got the battery hooked up and popped the back glass, but then we couldn't get the tailgate down. I figured it out later at the car wash. I had to pull up on the lock while I was pulling on the handle. So that's good to know for someone that comes and looks at the car about that little feature to get the tailgate down.
I don't know, there's also really small like handcuff keys in the access.
And here I am pushing the button to pop the back glass before Jeff has the battery hooked up. That's pretty smart. So we loaded her up on the trailer and took her to Keokuk and then drove it to the car wash for a vacuum.
Well, I'm gonna give the old soup kitchen wagon a wash here. I'm not gonna have a whole video of me washing it because that's one of my least favorite thing about car videos. But I'll give you a before and after here. Here's the before. Been quite some time since she's had a wash, it looks like. After being stuck in the barn for 4 years. So that's what she looks like. Try to get all these needles out of there and stuff. And I'll bring you back in when I got it done. And alright, she's washed up. Looks a hell of a lot better. Nice white paint on there. Got more real estate than Scrooge McDuck, I'll tell you that. Did Scrooge McDuck have a lot of real estate? I don't know. Seems like the kind of guy that would. Anyway, it's washed up. Oh, look, I missed some pine needles. I stopped parking these under Jeff's tree, get pine needles everywhere, so I guess I'll get the hose back out and spray those off. Well guys, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Had a fun time doing this project, but time to move her on, I guess. I got a guy that might be taking her tonight. I kind of waffled on the price, but I think I'll call him and tell him it's okay to come and get it. We'll move her on, and hopefully I'll see her around town. And like I said, been a good project. Hopefully we'll find some more. Next thing I got coming up is work on the charger, the blend door actuator, so stay tuned for that.